Kesukaran untuk mendapatkan rumah sendiri susulan harganya yang mahal bukan sahaja
Idaman mampu milik berkonsepkan small office, home office, Soho.
Jika gelandangan merayu untuk mendapatkan tempat berteduh.
Lau ditanya kepada golongan muda, selain pekerjaan yang tetap, memiliki rumah sendiri merupakan idaman buat mereka. Namun, impian itu hampir mustahil pada masa ini atas faktor pendapatan dan taraf hidup untuk golongan B40 dan M40.
Human beings have 4 basic needs to survive, which are food, water, air and shelter. Having a home gives you shelter to protect yourself from danger, bad weather or any unwanted incidents. Without any of these needs fulfilled, the human could not survive. Owning a house is a dream shared by many Malaysians, especially those with a family. However, the affordability to own a house among Malaysians has always been a topic that are highly discussed. Therefore, if not solved, it would affect the future state of our society as they could not afford to own a house. According to New Straits Times, the affordable house price range in Malaysia is between RM300,000 to 500,000 and the average monthly income per household is RM7,160. According to Bank Negara, the price range of 300,000 to 500,000 ringgit are beyond what is affordable to household earnings, the median income in Malaysia. So, the question is, does affordable housing program really affordable for the society? In accordance to that, it causes a high number of overhang property in Malaysia. National Property Information Centre stated that in the year 2031, Malaysia has over 36,000 units of overhang property that are worth RM22.79 billion. The statistic shows an increment of 24.7% and 20.5% in volume and value in comparison with the previous year. However, houses in the affordable price range are in the topping list of overhang residential properties with over 11,000 units unsold, which are 31.5% from the rest.
The issue was most acute in 2012 to 2014 when the growth in house prices doubled the growth in income levels. Deputy Finance Minister Dato' Othman Aziz, speaking at the 2017 focus group meeting, said houses prices up to 165,000 are considered affordable to a median Malaysian household. But developers say even a price of 250,000 will not be a viable price tag, especially in the Klang Valley and other major urban areas. This is because they argue that there are many aspects in the building costs that have continued to rise, such as material costs and labour costs, which are the results of escalating land prices. Land prices have been going up and are higher in the city centre due to its scarcity. FD Iskandar said generally the charge for land conversions has doubled within the past 5 years. However, throughout the year, household income in Malaysia remains the same. The 2019 Household Income and Basic Amenities Survey showed that the low-income group were earning 3,000 ringgit and below, and that half of the total households in Malaysia were not earning more than the median household income of 5,000 ringgit. Based on the definition of affordable housing, a household should pay no more than 30% of the income for housing, including utilities. Therefore, families that pay more, especially middle and lower income families, are considered cost burden and housing problem because they may have difficulty paying for non-housing needs such as food, clothing, transportation, childcare and medical care. However, according to a study, the high value of house price had actually made buyers delay to own a house or suffer from any high housing loan. Thus, the challenge is growth in house prices outpacing growth in household income. In Malaysia, housing loans are becoming more difficult to obtain while the loan approval process is getting longer due to stricter lending guidelines. Dato' Abdul Rahman Dahlan indicated that since January 1st, Bank Negara Malaysia has implemented stricter lending guidelines. This is because mortgage eligibility assessment will be based on the net income, considering statutory deduction for tax, EPF contribution and all other debt obligations. And recently, the same bank announced a new regulation that property buyers will no longer have the option to take housing loans for more than 35 years, and only personal loans for a period for up to 10 years. All this shows that stricter process and procedure that citizens need to go for in order to buy a house, and some of these rules make it difficult for young people to get a step on the housing ladder. Besides monthly installments, households have to pay for monthly maintenance fees, causing further financial burdens for already low-income households. Also, housing loans with high interest rates imposed by banks cause high monthly installments, making housing unit pricey and unaffordable for households. Therefore, the people have low capability of home financing.
National Affordable Housing Council has introduced National Affordable Housing Policy. National Affordable Housing Policy is a sub-policy of the National Housing Policy 2.0, and together with the National Community Policy, they are aimed at improving the well-being of the people while providing quality affordable houses to the rakyat, especially the B40 group. KPKT is the first ministry under the new government to roll out a new policy, which is the National Housing Policy 2.0. New housing policy will also focus on the establishment of a data system to allow developers to gauge and understand the market better. However, KPKT does not have a big data system where the National Affordable Housing Council can consolidate the data to see where they are now and allow them to make future projections for housing development in terms of property type, price, and location. In the regard of implementation, Zuraida also urged the staff of KPKT to support the policies rolled out by the ministry while improving their responsiveness and efficiency while dealing with the public.
Local and municipal councils are concerned with matters close to our homes, such as building regulations and development, public health, local roads and footpaths, and many community services. Promoting better housing outcomes through activities that are within the domain to direct would be the best alternative to combat the issue mentioned. These activities can encompass strategic planning, the regulation of housing supply and form, infrastructure planning and pricing policies, rate setting, and community service delivery. The service of this function has the potential to create additional housing opportunities, guide the form of housing in response to needs, and influence production costs and service availability. Council can support the provision of high-quality housing and urban environments through district plans that promote density and scale, through urban design provisions that encourage high-quality, compact, and transit-oriented urban form, and through placemaking approaches that support community input and respond to people and place. The Malaysian society should learn about how housing prices work, exploring the various housing schemes provided by the government assists society in purchasing a house within their budget. Prima One Malaysia Housing Program, Residency Wilayah previously known as Rumah WIP, and Rumah Selangorku are some of the government's affordable housing initiatives.
One of the suggestions to combat the above issues is by strengthening the target market. The target market in this emerging issue is coming from low-income families. Therefore, housing developers are advised not to be greedy and selfish in pursuing construction of houses into luxury housing by turning their back on the less fortunate. This is because if they do not care about their target market, they will also receive huge losses and not bring profit to the result of their efforts. This can be known as overhang property, as the low-income families cannot afford to own the house. This is because the current house price does not match the salary of the people in Malaysia. Therefore, by strengthening the target market in order to avoid overhang property will help the projection of affordable housing units to be sold to the low-income families.
City governments have to define their long-term plans for increasing the supply of affordable housing, balancing the need to minimize urban sprawl with the limits of the viability of building denser and taller. They need to address political considerations that could hold back the development of new affordable housing, ensure that housing developments have adequate infrastructure, explore ways to improve the situations of those living in informal housing, and create a strong regulatory enabling environment for the private and non-profit sectors. A local environmental study includes an analysis of constraints, population trends, residential design appropriate to support a land use planning process, should potential residential land capacity and corresponding housing needs, and sustainable to the local context.
In conclusion, different locations have different income levels, resulting in different levels of affordability. With the current economy in Malaysia, it is highly possible for Malaysians to not be able to afford to buy a house at the range of 300,000 ringgit. Although the price of land keep increase each year, the household income remains the same and only increase in small percentage. Thus, the middle-income household will have affordability problems in most major cities and towns in Malaysia, where many of them will find difficult to purchase a home. Therefore, policymakers need to take relevant action to solve these problems immediately.